by the high school and the football team's working out, and they're running their feet through the tires, and they're doing their push-ups. You say, well, you've already done that. They do it over and over and over because it's the basics. You guys would not be doing what you do if you already didn't have good attitudes, strong belief systems, and absolutely unbelievable commitment. But I love to, especially with moving into a new year, to talk about, you know, your attitude, because moving forward, the impact you have on people. You're going to give awards tonight for people that are reaching for a bar you've set. That's so incredible. And the reason that attitude, belief, and commitment are so important is they're emotional. You know, I can remember my dad saying, young lady, you better shape up that attitude. It's like, oh, yeah, whatever. Then you get older and go, holy cow, he's right. Because if you think you can, you're right. And if you think you can't, you're right. It's your perception. You know, how you perceive things. I look at this word. Some people say, well, that's this. I see that. Just the single space is removed. Totally different message. How do you perceive things? Here's another one. Would you rather be nowhere? Or would you rather be here? Just how you separate the space, that perception can change everything in your life. And it's all stemming from your attitude. Belief, another emotional, and that's why, I mean, countries have gone to war over belief systems. There is nobody with a stronger belief than a farmer. And you're depending on a lot of other things you can't control. The weather, the prices, you know, all that kind of stuff. It is amazing. You're walking more by faith than by sight. I love this guy. Does everybody know who Lance Armstrong is? It's not, his book was called It's Not About the Bike. It's here. It gives you the strength for here. And I think, you know, going into, we're in the beginning of a brand new year, to just kind of refresh, where is my attitude? How am I perceiving things? And I have a friend, and I'll talk to her, and I swear every time, oh man, I feel so bad, and they made me feel bad, and my feelings are hurt. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't think it's out here. I think it's in here. Just change your perception. Are you now here, or are you nowhere? It's not about the bike. And then commitment. This is such a biggie. You guys have the ultimate commitment, because you're living in your business 24/7. Don't you look at the people that go to the store and they unlock the door at 8 o'clock, and at 5 o'clock they lock the door and they go home? Unfortunately, your doors are open. You know, that calf is coming. I can't even imagine. You'd need bigger than Playtex Living Gloves to pull a calf. Holy cow! Oh, sorry. Yeah, and I like that it says in Webster's dictionary, it restricts your freedom of action. Once you commit, and it's a really interesting story. I'm sure you've all felt like this some days. Winds are blowing, man, you have just got to keep your nose focused. Off you go. Same with this guy. And you know, there's nothing between difference. There's no difference between you and him. You guys have figured it out. It's that mental commitment. This is what I love. Grand Canyon, 1869. Wesley Powell was a one-armed, retired Civil War sergeant. He had a goal of riding the Grand Canyon River to see, nobody knew where it went in those years. And he said, I'd really like to know where it goes. So he got 4 men in 4 rafts, and they started down the river. Of course, there's rapids and weather, and guys were killed when the rafts flipped over. A pretty wild river. One day they pull off to the side, and there are 3 men left in a raft, no supplies. And they said, you know what? We're going to die if we get back on that river. We started with 16 of us, there's 3. We're going to walk out of here. None of them was ever seen or heard from again. And the reason I tell you this story is that once you commit, regardless of how dark it looks, you keep to the task, you stay focused, because what they didn't know is The next day, had they gotten on the river, yesterday's rapids was the last set. They could have ridden right out of that river. So sometimes when you think, oh my gosh, it's not going to get any worse, this, that, the other, keep focused. Stay with your goal. I'm a professional pianist. I have done a master's and a bachelor's in piano, and you want to talk about commitment. You know, I was telling them when I did my master's, my daughter started kindergarten, I felt like some little old lady going back to college, you know. My piano professor said, oh, just practice 5 or 6 hours every day, you'll be okay. My buttocks cannot take 5 hours on the bench. But it was the commitment, you know. And it, just like in life, do you make mistakes? You know, you get back on track. You keep that commitment no matter what. That perseverance will see you through. You know, do you experience